Hi, second graders. Remember last week on Friday when we did a 5-finger retell? We're going to do that again, but today you're going to have to really help me out. Now, I was supposed to do Snapsy the alligator, but something happened between here and my other house and I can't seem to find it. Did you take it, Maggie? 0 in on her. She looks a little guilty. She loves stories like that. So I'm going to go ahead and read one of my favorites, Lon Po Po, which of course is a version of what? Red Riding Hood, one of my favorites. So we're going to figure out, remember our 5-finger retell is character, setting, beginning, middle, and end, which is the plot of the story. All right, so Lon Po Po is a Red Riding Hood story from China, and it's by Ed Young, and it's also illustrated by Ed Young. One of my favorites of all time, and my kids, my own kids, they love this story. Now, I'm going to tell you something before we start. Most fairy tales, which this is a fairy tale, begin with once upon a time, or long, long ago. So I went ahead and did the beginning for us already. I already put, it's going to say once long ago, because that's the beginning. A lot of fairy tales will start with once upon a time. All right, let's find out what happens. Get ready, second graders. You've got to help Miss Nason. And I always like I love how fairy tales usually have a really big O at the beginning. Once upon a time, but this is, of course, is once long ago. Look at these beautiful illustrations. Once long ago, there was a woman who lived alone in the country with her 3 children, Shang, Tao, and Patse. On the day of their grandmother's birthday, the good mother set off to see her, leaving the 3 children at home. Before she left, she said, "Be good while I'm away, my heart-loving children. I will not return tonight. Remember to close the door tight at sunset and latch it well." Off went Mom. Before I even start, I see something here and I'm like, okay, there's our friend. But an old wolf lived nearby and saw the mother leave at dusk. Dusk is when the sun is starting to set. At dusk, disguised as an old woman, he came up to the house of the children and knocked on the door twice. Shang, who was the eldest, said through the latch door, "Who is it?" "My little jewels," said the wolf. "This is your grandmother, your Popo." "Popo," Shang said, "our mother has gone to visit you." Before we move on, I want to show you something because we're about to hear something about a ginkgo tree. On my computer, Miss Nason has a really good picture of a ginkgo tree. You're going to hear about ginkgo nuts and the ginkgo tree. Here's a beautiful picture. So I want you to see. So the ginkgo trees came from China, where they grew in the wild, kind of like our dogwoods grow in the wild. A lot of people have them planted, but they're also in the wild. People in ancient China and Japan also grew them in the gardens. Today, ginkgos grow in cities, parks, and gardens on every continent but Antarctica. Can you guess why probably not Antarctica? Probably it's way too cold. But again, look, you're going to hear about ginkgo nuts of a ginkgo tree. A lot of things are going to happen in this tree. I just wanted you to see a picture. All right. to our story. So Mom's left. The wolf knows that Mom left. Goes to the door, and they're saying, and remember the wolf's pretending to be the grandmother, and the girls say, but our mother came to visit you. Love these illustrations. The wolf acted surprised. To visit me? I have not met her along the way. She must have taken a different route. Popo, Shang said, how is it that you come so late? The wolf answered, the journey is long, my children, and the day is short. Can we already figure out who our main characters are? Let's go ahead and fill out our chart. So we've got our beginning. We know it's once long ago. Our characters, we know, of course, our friend the wolf, right? Shang, the daughter. Tao, the daughter, excuse me, Miss Nason said doctor, meant daughter. And, let's see, those are our main characters so far. If we get another one, we'll add it. If we get a doctor, we'll add it. Just daughter. So we already know right now, look at their faces. They're like, something's up here. Shang listened through the door. Popo, she said, why is your voice so low? Your grandmother has caught a cold, good children, and it's dark and windy out here. Quickly open up and let your Popo in, the cunning wolf said. Cunning means you're very smart and sly and clever. Tao and Potsy could not wait. One unlatched the door and the door opened. They shouted, Popo, Popo, come in. At that moment, he entered the door. The wolf blew out the candle. Popo, Shang asked, why did you blow out the candle? The room is now dark. The wolf did not answer. Why do you suppose? The wolf didn't answer. Tao and Potsy rushed to their Popo and wished to be hugged. The old wolf held Tao. Good child, you are so plump. Plump is a really good word for a little bit heavier. Kind of a plump, like think of a plump, like a plump raisin or a plump grape where they're really big and juicy and full of flavor. He embraced Potsy. Good child, you have grown to be so sweet. Soon, the old wolf pretended to be sleepy. He yawned. All the chicks are in the coop, he said. Popo is sleepy too. When he climbed into bed, Potsy climbed in at one end with the wolf and Shang and Tao climbed in on the other. But when Shang stretched, she touched the wolf's tail. Popo, Popo, your feet have a bush on it. What do you suppose the bush was they were feeling on their feet? Love this picture. Popo has brought hemp strings to weave you a basket, the wolf said. Shang touched grandmother's sharp claws. Popo, Popo, your hand has thorns on it. Popo has brought an awl to make shoes for you, the wolf said. At once, Shang lit the light and the wolf blew it out. But Shang had seen the wolf's hairy face. Popo, Popo, she said, for she was not only the eldest, she was the most clever. You must be hungry. Have you eaten ginkgo nuts? What is ginkgo? The wolf asked. Ginkgo is soft and tender like the skin of a baby. One taste and you will live forever. Shang said, and the nuts grow on top of the tree just outside the door. The wolf gave a sigh. Oh dear, Popo is old. Her bones have become brittle. No longer can she climb trees. Good, Popo. We can go pick some for you. And the wolf was delighted. When I'm delighted about something, I'm so happy. Think about the time you've been delighted about something. Sometimes people are delighted around their birthdays or Christmas or just on a beautiful sunny day when you go outside and play. Shang jumped out of bed and Tal and Potsy came with her to the ginkgo tree. There, Shang told her sisters about the wolf and all three climbed up the tall tree. The wolf waited and waited. Plump Tal did not come back down. Sweet Potsy did not come back down. And Shang did not come back down. And no one brought any nuts from the ginkgo tree. At last the wolf shouted, "Where are you children?" "Popo," Shang called out. "We're on top of the tree eating ginkgo nuts." "Good children," the wolf begged. "Pluck some for me." "But Popo, ginkgo is magic only when it's plucked directly from the tree. You must come and pluck it from the tree yourself." The wolf came outside and paced back and forth under the tree, where he heard the three children eating the ginkgo nuts at the top. When you're pacing, you're going back and forth and back and forth. So the wolf is very, very upset. "Oh, Popo, these nuts are so tasty. The skin's so tender," Shang said. The wolf's mouth began to water for a taste. Finally, Shang, the eldest and most clever child, said, "Popo, Popo, I have a plan. At the door there's a big basket. Behind it is a rope. Tie the rope to the basket, sit in the basket, and throw the other end to me. I can pull you up." They're trying to do a little plan with this, trying to trick this wolf. He's pretending to be their Popo. The wolf was overjoyed and fetched the basket and the rope and then threw one end of the rope to the top of the tree. Shang caught the rope and began to pull the basket up and up and up. Halfway, she let go of the rope. And the basket and the wolf fell to the ground. "Oh, I'm so small and weak, Popo," Shang pretended. "I could not hold the rope alone." "This time I will help," Tal said. "Let us do it again." The wolf had only one thought in mind, to taste a ginkgo nut. He climbed into the basket again. Now Shang and Tal pulled the rope on the basket together, higher and higher and higher. Do you think, boys and girls, that they're going to let the wolf get a ginkgo nut at this point? Again, they let go. And again, the wolf tumbled down, 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 and bumped his head. The wolf was furious. He growled and cursed. "We could not hold the rope, Popo," Shang said. "But only one ginkgo nut and you will be well again." "I shall give a hand to my sisters this time," Potsy said. "This time we shall not fail." Now the children pulled the rope with all their strength. And as they pulled, they sang, "Hey-o, hey-o." And the basket rose straight up, higher than the first time, higher than the second time, higher and higher until it nearly reached the top of the tree. When the wolf reached out, he could almost touch the highest branch. But at that moment, Shang coughed, and they all let go of the rope. And the basket fell down and down and down. And not only did the wolf bump his head, but he broke his heart to pieces. "Po-Po," Shane shouted, but there was no answer. "Po-Po," Tao shouted, but there was no answer. "Po-Po," Pa shouted. There still was no answer. The children climbed to the branches just above the wolf and they saw he was truly dead. Then they climbed down, went in the house, closed the door, locked it, and fell peacefully asleep. On the next day, their mother returned with baskets of food from their real Po-Po, and the three sisters told the story of the Po-Po who had come. So at the end of our story, the wolf died, right? They tricked him and he died at the end. So we're going to go ahead and do the end of our story on our 5-finger retell. And remember, good readers can go back. You going to help me, Maggie? All right. So at the end of the story, we know that the wolf died. And Mom returned. The wolf died. And the mom returned. So we've got our beginning once long ago. We've got our characters, Wolf, Shang, Tao, and Potsy. If you wanted to put the mom, you could, but she's not really a main character. At the end, the wolf died and the mom returned. We'll go ahead and add Mom as a character. All right, so all we have left to do is the setting and the middle of the story. Okay, so the setting, of course, is where the story takes place. So where did our story take place? I want you to think for a second. Remember, Mom left and the girls were where? In their house. So we're going to put Shang, Tao, and make that O better. Say's home. Also, part of the setting was where? What kind of tree was it? In the ginkgo tree. Okay, we have one more part of our 5-finger retell. Remember, it's character, setting, beginning, middle, and end. So we're going to be doing the middle. Middle of the story, remember, is the biggest part. It's the part of that sandwich. Remember, the beginning is a piece of our bread. Where's our beginning? Oh, that's nice. Oh, that is the beginning. Okay, characters go here. Miss Nason. Characters, setting, and now the beginning. And now the middle. So we know the beginning was once long ago. Let's do the middle together. So in the middle, what happened? Let's think about the wolf. What did the wolf really want to do? That's right, he wanted to eat the little girls. So that's the first part of the middle. The wolf comes to the girls, comes to their house to trick them. But what do the girls do? The girls what? Think about it for a second. The girls trick the wolf into thinking that the ginkgo tree was something that was just going to save him. So they tricked him and ended up what? the wolf died, right? So the wolf comes to their house to trick them, but instead, Shang, Tao, and Potsy trick the wolf. All right, let's do our 5-finger retell again. Characters is Wolf, Shang, Tao, Potsy, and the mom. The setting, Shang and Tao, Potsy's home, and the ginkgo tree. The beginning was once long ago. Remember I said a lot of fairy tales start with once upon a time. This one is once long ago. Middle, the wolf comes to their house to trick them, but instead Shang, Tao, and Potsy trick the wolf. And finally, the wolf died and the mom returns. So we've just done our 5-finger retell, which is a great way to retell a story to somebody. So on Friday, we will do this one more time and we'll read a favorite story of Miss Nason's. I hope you have a great week. Bye, 2nd grade.